These four gentlemen sitting in front of us, we want to make certain that these gentlemen who are here also in front of us had viable examples, accessible role models of young men who have quote unquote been there, done that. Young men who chose to get on the straight and narrow and be the example that we all need to be. And so we ask these young men to serve as our phenomenal men of the year, meaning they set the standard for what it means to be phenomenal, for what it means to be a man, and for what it means to be our motto this year, which is the year of the gentleman. These four individuals come from throughout the Midwest, but they've had a direct impact on these gentlemen of Boys to Men and on children all throughout the Midwest. It is my honor to introduce them to you today. Our first individual, not only is he one of the sharpest dressed young men, I watched him do so much work in the area of Maywood and Proviso Township. We became close to one another during his time at Aurora University. And to watch this young man, raised by mother, Dr. Matthews, so proud of you as well, watch this young man take on the reins of leadership in Maywood in the Proviso area, watching him at 19 and 20 years old, organizing events to bring together the leadership, reminded me of a young person back in the day here in Aurora. I wasn't as fly as you though, Teddy. But it reminds me of this young man who had this vision, and we watch him. So not only did he stop there of organization, he knew that we needed to have foundations and we need to have organizations, so he founded what he calls the Empowerment Academy, this academy that would help individuals empower themselves in the world. And now we're watching him move forward as a recently ordained reverend, one of the best preachers around. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce to most of you, but definitely just to bring back in front of some of you, the individual who helped us start off our year this year, the year of the gentleman, with an amazing speech to the young men. The individual who is taking on the leadership out in the Maywood area. The individual who has not forgotten about Aurora, where he came from, Aurora University, because he always gives back. That individual who sets the standard of what it means to be a young legend in the making. Ladies and gentlemen, we see enough negativity happening in this world. So we should be so proud to clap and to scream out loud when we see young men who are doing great. Our first phenomenal man of the year for 2012. Please join me in welcoming Reverend Theodore Matthews.
Thank you all. I can't believe Clayton told me he wasn't going to introduce me, so I wasn't expecting that. But I do want to thank all of you that came out. First, I do want to thank God for for bringing me this far, for my mother, for my family, from all my friends that did come out here. This is amazing to see all these people out here to support something of this nature. I simply want to leave these words with you. I was sitting here thinking of what I would say on my way in, and it's simply this. Believe. In 1955, there was a man by the name of Sir Winston Churchill who, on his way to his final speeches, his final words, on his way to his death, he was asked to do a commencement speech at a university. Being weak and feeble as he was, he still merely approached the podium, and he grabbed it with both arms, and his head was down for what seemed to be forever. In the midst of all of that, he finally held his head up, and he said these words here. It was these 9 words that I echo throughout the rest of this moment. Never give up, never give up, and never give up. In that same voice that he brought back Great Britain from the Great Depression and everything that they went through, he simply said those words, never give up, and never give up. That's all I stood to really say. That's all this award really means to me, is what happens when you never give up. All the circumstances and difficulties that will face you in the days to come. To my fellow young phenoms, never give up. I believe he said it 9 times and echoed it 3 times over to simply talk to 3 different groups. The same way I stand before you today, which is why I chose those things. Those 3 different groups in which he represented was the one, the young phenoms, the younger ones who are still going through it. That while you may endure things that you may not desire, you may not want to do your homework, you may not want to do the tests, you may not want to stay up late studying for your finals, you may not want to listen to your parents or any of the above, never give up. When you don't feel as if you're going to attain the grades you want to attain, when you don't know where you're going to turn to, I simply echo those words, never give up. The second group of people I believe that he will want me to talk to today is that group that's right there at that breaking point, that's at the tip of the berg. They've tried everything they could, they've tried and they've tried again, but they feel like they're running in circles. I simply want to say to them, never give up. And lastly, there's that third group, the group of the older ones who have achieved, or even the young ones that have achieved at an early age. I want to simply tell you, never give up. That while you may have achieved, you can still achieve more. And then for those who have achieved and you know for a certainty that this is it for you, I simply want to tell you, never give up on those that will follow you. That's a perfect opportunity to take up someone from the next generation and raise them so that they can never give up. And those words is simply all I want to leave to you, is never give up, never give up, never give up. I echo the sentiments of that last one mainly because what we have before us is a group of dignitaries, a group of highly educated individuals all throughout the room. And then we have a group of B2M's guys who simply need someone to grab them up as the great living legend has done, Mr. Clayton Muhammad. He grabbed them up and he raised them. So I simply tell you, never give up on the next generation. Because while it may not look like they'll get to where you want them to go, I simply echo these words, that God can do more in one moment than we could ever do alone in a lifetime. I leave you with the words I left the phenoms with earlier this year, and it's the words of a man by the name of Dr. Benjamin Elijah Mays. It's one of my favorite poems, and it's simply entitled God's Minute. It reads as this: I only have 1 minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, can't refuse it. Didn't seek it, didn't choose it, but it's up for me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but eternity is in it. Again, I thank you for this opportunity.
Reverend Theodore Matthews, 2012 Phenomenal Man of the Year. We call him the young legend, leading life out there in Proviso Township. So proud of him. And he pulls off the purple jacket. I love it. I love it. I know the Qs in the house think it represents them, but thank you so much. Never give up. And that is the message that we want to make certain that all of you know. Never give up. Because Teddy was at one point just your age a few years ago, sitting in your seat, trying to decide what he was going to do in life. And you can see once you make up your mind to do something, you can get it done. Watching what he's doing in his city is nothing less than amazing. Boys to Men Maywood is on the way. Another round of applause for Reverend Teddy Matthews, 2012 Phenomenal Man of the Year.